Hello and welcome back to Onto the Ball. I'm Scott Nichol, your host, and I'm joined this week by Travis Morgan. We're doing a live watch-along, Man United versus Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup. We're talking all things England squad that's been announced today, Liverpool versus Southampton Saturday, Manchester United away to Fulham. So much to talk about. Trav, how are you doing? You okay, mate?
Good, mate. Are you? I'm really good, thanks.
Yeah, good. Hopefully, OB can join us at some point in the next hour. Um, I'm just watching the Man United game kick off now. What is Ten Hag doing with this starting lineup? I cannot believe how strong he's gone.
You think that? I think that's quite rested, to be fair. I think he's rested quite a few. The two midfield boys are rested. Martial's not played a lot of football. Van de Beek's in there because obviously he's not first choice. The left back, the keeper, Maguire. I think it's quite a strong team, but it's definitely not our first choice team. So I think he's rested quite a few. I can see at the weekend Shaw will come back in. You'd think Martinez would come back in, the keeper, the two midfielders will change. So yeah, it's very much rotated, but I think it's quite a strong team as well.
Yeah, when I seen Martial, I thought he's got his injury problems. I thought that's quite a risk. Surely he would have saved him for Fulham. Why isn't Ronaldo there? Is he ill?
I don't know. I've not seen the Is he on the bench? No, he must be carrying a knock or must be just totally rested. To be fair, I didn't see the pre-match press conference from Ten Hag, so yeah, there's quite a few changes. So yeah, it'd be intriguing. But Villa have gone with more or less a lot of the same players. They've made a few changes themselves. Young's come in, Chambers is in, and they've put Danny Ings in from the start. So they've obviously rested the likes of Buendia, Cash, Mings, the keeper, Dinya. So both sides have rotated tonight, so it should make for a decent game.
Yeah, it should be a good game. So we'll watch that as it's unfolding. Trav, the England squad. What's the surprises in? Let's kick off with the England squad, yeah?
Yeah.
Madison's obviously in. I don't know when his last cap was or when he was called up, but it's a bit like Konate getting called up for France. If you come good at the right time into form, what 2-3 weeks before the selection you're in, it baffles me a little bit. But what baffles me even more is the players that are right out of form, not even playing for their club sides, and they're just shoo-ins. Obviously, I'm thinking of Maguire. I'm thinking of our own Jordan Henderson, who's not having the greatest season. He's playing
Yeah.
second fiddle to Harvey Elliott now. Obviously, Harvey Elliott don't get in. Henderson does. Shaw's been playing quite a bit, so you can see that. Calvin Phillips has played about 20 minutes of Premier League football. Um, what are you thinking? What's your thoughts? We got a chance to win the World Cup?
Nah, not for me. Personally, not for me. I think England will get through the group. I don't think it will be as comfortable as many people are thinking in terms of the group. But I think if you look at the actual squad itself, I think England have picked probably the most versatile fit player. So if you take Eric Dyer, he can probably play in midfield. In comparison to the other positions, defence and forward, I think there's not many creative players in that midfield, and I think that will ultimately be England's downfall unless he's thinking about playing the likes of Foden and Mount in deeper areas. I just literally, the way Southgate likes to set up, I just can't see where the creativity is going to come from in the service. For Kane, obviously, you've got the likes of Saka and Foden, who you would expect to start in wide areas, maybe Sterling as well. I think it's going to be very approach dependent from Southgate. Will he be brave? Will he sort of let the shackles off and say, right, we'll play one to two midfield players and four attackers? But then if he starts going back threes and three in midfield and start trying to shut up shop, not playing not to lose, then we could see a little bit of a struggle because in the group, let's be real, as much as these are like not well, the Wales games classed as probably a local international derby, but there's going to be a lot of history in terms of the USA game and Iran. They're pretty much unknown to everyone. Those sides are going to look to shut up shop and nick a point against England. And we know what it's like for England against teams that try and sit back. They don't notoriously do very well in terms of breaking them down. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I think the squad isn't great in midfield, but with the injuries and stuff, I think that's all they could pick, mate.
Yeah, I agree. And like you say, when you're looking at the squad, it very much looks like a 4-2-3-1. You probably have Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips. That's obviously his go-to two midfielders. But how would you leave Jude Bellingham out? Conor Gallagher, is he a surprise inclusion?
I think so. Yeah, I think he is a
Um,
surprise inclusion. Like
Again,
I said,
obviously from
yeah.
a bias point of view, Harvey Elliott's doing his thing for Liverpool. Conor Gallagher's not starting for Chelsea. That's another. There's just shocks all over the squad, really.
Yeah, I didn't see the Conor Gallagher one coming at all. I think, like you said, his hand's been forced with a few of the decisions that he's made. Um, the Maguire thing's just a pure loyalty exercise, isn't it? Like he's just standing by his man. So I can see if Maguire goes, I can't see him not playing. Why would you take Maguire? He doesn't play for his club. So if he's in the squad, you would see him starting maybe alongside John Stones. Maguire's going to be very rusty. I don't care who you are. Can't just go straight into international football after playing no minutes for your club. It just don't work like that. So I'm staggered that Maguire is actually in the squad and is going to play. Um, and
John
then if you look,
Stones is not having the best time either, is he? Has John Stones been playing much?
he has, but like you said, he's been a bit indifferent. So there's not many options for England. Obviously, the injuries to Chilwell, Reece James, massive blows for England. Callum Wilson's another surprise inclusion. No Ivan Toney, who's been doing very well. I don't know if this gambling scandal's got anything to do with it, which I don't really know much about, so I'm not going to comment on that. But yeah, like you said, surprise inclusions. There's lots of players I would have included or who haven't been, the likes of Tomori, Chris Smalling also having a good season. Tammy Abraham, again, don't play in this country, but I don't know what it is. Whether it's the fact that they're not playing in this country or what, but there's just some players who should have been given more of an opportunity, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And then you look at the rest of it. You got Ben White, who's been playing right back. It just feels like a patched up squad. And then obviously our Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's so out of form at the minute. You like to think that if who's the right back missing there? Reece James was not injured, Trent wouldn't have gone.
No.
But yeah,
No.
Callum Wilson's a weird one for sure, like you say. So yeah, we'll just have to see
Well,
how
I think starting
Gareth
lineup
does.
wise, I think he's I don't think Trent. It depends. I think in some of the group games, Trent might play where England have got a lot of the ball, and then as the latter stages come, you might see him revert back to Trippier. But that's not to take any credit away from Trippier's offensive play because he's great going forward as well. Trippier is a really really solid player. Obviously applied his trade at Atletico as well, and I think he's done unbelievably well since he's been back in the Premier League, and I think he actually deserves to be playing it. If I'm honest with you, I think he probably would be nailed on for that right back spot, depending on Kyle Walker's fitness. I'd like to see Kyle Walker tried at centre back. I think it would be the ideal time to try him, probably alongside Stones. But as I've just already mentioned, you can see Harry Maguire playing if he's on the plane. Midfield, Bellingham, you can't leave him out, but it's just, again, it's going to be down to Southgate and what shape he chooses, Scott.
Yeah, Bellingham and Rice, two in the centre, two that I'd love at Liverpool next season if we get these billionaire shake owners. But yeah, I mean, you could argue that England have got such an easy group, so we'll probably have the ball, the majority of the ball in all three of them games: Iran, Wales, and USA. You know what the chances are, the odds in the bookies are we're going to pattern up all three. Everyone's going to be screaming it's coming home. 9 points from 9. Harry Maguire, 3 clean sheets. You can just see people, they'll get carried away straight away. So, I'm sure we'll do a couple of podcasts when the World Cup starts. Why not get in the spirit of things?
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, Man United's team tonight, obviously looking at that now. What does that mean for Fulham away on Sunday?
Yeah, as I said, I think we'll ring the changes for the Fulham game. Fulham are going great guns. one defeat in five, and that was narrow against Man City with that last-minute penalty. So they're took nicely in ninth, and the manager's doing a great job. Mitrovic scoring plenty of goals. I always think when you come up from the Championship, you just need one reliable goal scorer who's going to keep you in the league. And I think Mitrovic is that guy. He's been around the block. We all know about him. He's been in the Premier League before, and he's just a nasty. He's one of them players you just hate to play against him as a centre back because you just wouldn't get a moment's peace. He's not got blistering pace, but he's just so rough, physical, everything that Lindelof hates. So I don't really.
I was just going to say he's going to rag Lindelof around, isn't he? Like
I don't want to be seeing Lindelof in it. I know. It might be a Maguire game. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see like how we deal with Mitrovic because we do struggle in physical and aerial duels. So that's going to be one to watch for Sunday. But again, Fulham is going to be tough playing 3 days before the game as well. Fulham would have had more or less a week off, unless did they play in the EFL Cup yesterday? I'm not sure. I need to check. But I know all the London clubs, bar Charlton Athletic, are out. I saw that today, so they're definitely not in the competition. They may have played last night or Tuesday, but yeah, they've certainly had more rest than us. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game, similar to not the Villa game in approach, because I think Fulham will have a go against us, and rightly so, because they're in a really, really good position. It's a game that it's not a must-win game for them. They can go out and express themselves. It's the game before the World Cup. So I think it makes for an entertaining game. Craven Cottage tight pitch as well, which will suit Fulham, because they'll want to get in our faces a lot and make the atmosphere hostile.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just looking at the Man United team now. So playing Sunday could easily be Martial, Fernandes, Rashford, Fred would join Casemiro, so that's 4, Dalot 5, Lindelof 6, or Maguire. So yeah, you've got 6 potential starters there for Sunday. I think this is a massive risk for Ten Hag tonight. But again, he's a foreign manager coming in, so you don't know in the Dutch league. All the cups might be as revered as the league, so he's just going for everything. So it might come back to bite him on the arse, and it might not.
And he knows the players, you know what I mean? Like he'll know what players need resting, what players can probably play 60 minutes tonight, what players can play the full game. Like you said, all the sports science that they've got in football and stuff now, you would like to think that they wouldn't take any unnecessary risks. I know Rashford played in the last game, but I think he rested in the week before in the Europa League game and stuff. So it's going to be interesting on Sunday. Like I said, but it's a game where we definitely need 3 points going into the World Cup off the back of that Villa defeat. And more importantly, I think we need a big performance as well, a big away performance as well, to sort of like revitalise the fan base again after that defeat at Villa, because that just was a little bit of a sucker punch, caught everyone cold. So we need to go out there and just sort of show what we're made of.
I can see you're a bit worried. I can hear it in your voice, Trav. You've lost a bit of your sparkle.
I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit worried about this game. I mean, they've taken points off you. They narrowly lost away at Arsenal and City. They're dangerous for them, do you know what I mean? And they had Andres Pereira, who was at United as well. One of those really good, honest players. He was just always very low in the pecking order and didn't quite have enough quality. But now he's got a manager that believes in him, trusts him, and he's playing all the time. He's seen some really good performances from him. And they've got some good players. So I think we're in for a really, really tough afternoon on Sunday. I'm not looking forward to it at all. But I just hope by hook or by crook we manage to get victory.
Imagine you have 2 defeats heading into the World Cup. I would love that.
I know you would.
Where's my Kevin Keegan headphones?
I'm telling you now.
I will love that.
I won't. I know. I know. It could quite easily happen though if we're not on our mettle. It really can. Like I said,
easy. As soon as you said you were away, I thought, hello.
I know they've already taken points off you, haven't they? Which
Yeah.
which isn't really a surprise, to be fair. A lot of teams.
But like you say, they could have got a point last week against City. That was at City, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were very unlucky. Obviously, the last minute penalty given away. But yeah, they'll take a lot of points off teams this season, especially at home. So yeah, I think Mitrovic will score. I do think we'll concede, and I'm gonna just say 2-1 United. I'm gonna say we're gonna edge it. Again, we're not scoring a lot of goals. But I just think it's important that we go ahead in this game. We can't afford to fall behind like the Villa game because it will be a real uphill task for us, especially with the legs and the tiredness kicking in. And if we can just get over the line, get 3 points, stay in the mix for this top four, and kick on again after the World Cup.
Yeah. Your head will be in bits if you don't. If you have 2 defeats.
Yeah, it'll be a long month. I'm telling you. I'll be like, forget the World Cup. I just want the Premier League back. But
You'll be ready for that big reset, won't you?
No, I'll be ready for that, mate. But no,
heading into the big reset like
Liverpool. But it's mad to have the World Cup at the time it is. I mean, I was quite dubious about having a World Cup at this time, thinking, this and that, and
it's rotten, isn't it?
Yeah, and what sort of impact it'll have on the squad. But once we get into it, it'll be great to have 4 games on a day. Do you know what I mean? Watching it little bits at work, and then you're coming home and you're looking forward to the evening game, and that it'll be great once it gets in full swing. And there's some good groups as well. Yeah. You've got Portugal, Ghana, South Korea in one group, really tough group. And then you've got the Brazil group with Serbia. And there's going to be some big hitters going out quite early as well, but I'm sure we'll analyse that on another show.
Yeah, absolutely. So, score predictions for Sunday, you're saying 2-1?
2-1 United.
I'm going to go for 1 each.
Yeah.
Hopefully you drop. I don't think you'll lose, but I'm hoping you drop, and I think you might drop, especially off the back of tonight. Is there any injury updates? Who's back from injury? Obviously, Fernandes was only suspended, so he's back tonight. He'll be back Sunday. Anthony?
Dalot, no Anthony. No, I don't think he'll be back. Dalot's suspended.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, so right back's going to be interesting because Wan-Bissaka hasn't kicked the ball all year.
Is he fit, though?
I think so.
Yeah.
As far as I know. So, and Brandon Williams is a long-term injury for us. So right back could be Lindelof with Maguire centre-back, which is makeshift, to say the least. I would not be looking forward to that. I don't know what other options we've actually got for right back, unless Malacia can shoehorn his way in at one of the full-back positions. Really, really worrying. And Ten Hag's spoken quite a lot about needing right back cover. He likes Dalot. But similar to Shaw, I think he wants somebody who can compete with Dalot for his place. So I think a right back incoming in the summer is going to be very important with the imminent departure of Wan-Bissaka. So yeah, right back is a worry. I'd expect Eriksen to come back in, and then the front line will be very mixed. Depending on what happens with Martial tonight, I'd expect Rashford to keep his place. Sancho not involved. Again, don't know what he's going to be like for Sunday. We'll have to see the press conference maybe early Saturday morning. So it's going to be a race against time.
Is Dalot leaving on a free then? Has he been offered a new contract?
He will be offered a new contract, yes. I'm not sure. He's got a lot of interest from clubs, but I don't know if the clubs are bigger than United. The clubs coming in, I think Barcelona came in vaguely. There'll be interest with the season he's having. He's having a tremendous season, and he's really stepped up. He's someone that I've always personally had faith in. I've always liked him as a player. But I know he divided opinion before this season, but he's become a little bit of a fan favourite. Fans are loving him, wanting him tied down to this new deal, and I'm confident he will get a new deal.
Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at your bench now. You've obviously got Casemiro, De Gea. You got Elanga, Eriksen, and Garnacho. Do you think that's anything to do with Sunday? Garnacho start again. Martinez, Shaw. They're the other two of note on the bench.
Yeah, he likes Garnacho a lot. I think, without a doubt, if Anthony and Sancho aren't involved, I can see Garnacho keeping his place. For sure, he deserves it. I think he's been really good in the last couple of games. The only one, I think he's one of the only ones that could have walked away from that Villa game with any sort of credit. He gives 100% all the time. He's still raw, but he's got a lot of quality. He's already got off the mark in the Europa League. And I think it's only a matter of time before he starts scoring in the league, to be fair. He's got that much quality. So, yeah, I could really see him keeping his place.
Yeah. Nice one.
Mhm.
So, yeah, on to Liverpool, Southampton. All this takeover talk seems to have died down a bit after the mad 24 hours. I'm not sure if it was just a David Ornstein, a lazy, bored journalist just pumping up a story, and then
Yeah.
FSG shut it down saying, look, we've always said that we're in for some shareholders or anything. So I don't know what's happened to that, but it's hopefully there's a bit of calmness around the club again, and we head into Southampton in a really
How
good.
did the, how did the fan base feel about that news coming out?
I think the majority, they've always said that owners don't back Jurgen Klopp enough. They've made some big errors, obviously glaring errors in the fans' eyes with the European Super League trying to introduce £90 match tickets when they built the new stand. All that got rebuffed by the fans' protests. They tried to trademark the word Liverpool, the city of Liverpool. Obviously, that didn't go down well. So, but obviously they've stabilised us. They've built two new stands. We've won the league. We've won the European Cup. It probably is more a case of not FSG out like the Glazers, but just very much thanks for everything. But it's time to go. Claude AFTV type thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. Now that the furore has died down and I've relaxed a little bit, I don't think a purchase is incoming where they're going to buy the club and it's going to be a takeover. I fully believe an investment of shareholding won't help us at all. I don't understand how it could help us, but we'll wait and see.
Have you gone flat already? You was giving it big shakes and all sorts, mate. That'll be us next season, 200 mil.
You know what I'm like, mate. I'm bordering bipolar. I'm either up there or I'm down there.
He's
Um,
gone already, mate.
so yeah, look.
Little bit of LeBron James short change thrown in there, mate. That'll be it. That'll be it done.
If it happens, it happens. Let the good times roll. But obviously, I've read a
Get
few.
the stadium seats painted again. That's it.
Yeah.
Repainted the stadium seats.
Well, I don't know. When you see it, you don't want to be state owned by states that murder people and all that. So I don't know. Sometimes it's better the devil you know. So I'm just gonna sit
I think
back. It
that's the
doesn't matter what
difficulty.
I say. It's gonna
That's the
happen or not.
difficulty for owners, ain't it? Like, let's be real. Owners can never win. Like, football is a sport that's for the people. Do you know what I mean? No matter what angle or approach you look at, it's always for the people, and the supporters do come first. You know what I mean? And you can never satisfy all sections of the support. And this basically showed that with this news being announced, there were so many different angles and views from lots of different sections of the Liverpool fan base of how they actually wanted this to go. And I think what then people try and do is like involve morals in the situation and think that they're making a better decision because of how they want it to go. Some fans just want like the rich Abu Dhabi owners to just pump 200 million in or the every season and build a super team. Some people are like, no, look at where they're getting that money from. And the thing is, there's no right or wrong. I don't necessarily think when it comes to this. And the owners have the right to make the decision that they want to make. Do you know what I mean? They put you in a very good position. They bought the club for a few hundred million and it's worth billions now. Do you know what I mean? You can't really grumble with the service that they've given you. But the
Oh, I
fans will
can. I can grumble.
yeah. Yeah, you can. Yeah, in some
Yeah, but I
respects.
know what you mean. We're on a good footing. We're stable. We're the envy of a lot of clubs in the way they're run compared to us. So,
Generally,
like
yeah.
I say, it is a bit. Thanks for everything, but let's see what something else is like. It's time for a change.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Things move
it's
on. Everything's got a shelf life, don't it? Like
of
things do
course.
move on. You know what I mean? The owners, like you said, they've left it. They're going to leave it in a good position for the next ownership. I personally do think like over the next few years, I'm not just saying this as well because I want it to happen, but I think you'll see the ownership and Klopp probably over a 3 year span probably won't be at Liverpool.
Yeah,
And it's
it'll
the same.
change. It does, doesn't it? It always
It does change.
changes.
It does change. And you wonder how long Pep's got left because he's just going to dominate this league until he leaves. Do you know what I mean? He did it the same in the Spanish league with Barcelona, and I know everyone was like, oh well, he had Messi and all that, but he created a monster. Do you know what I mean? Half the team was out of his B team that he promoted to the A team. He had all of those players playing in his academy, like your Iniestas and stuff like that. He didn't buy any of those players. He added his little Busquets and stuff like that. But Pep's just that good that I think the league sort of has to wait until he goes really to make it a little bit even. And it was the same with Fergie when he was at United. So yeah, the interesting thing for Liverpool is what's going to happen over the next 18 months at the club. But I think you're in a good position generally, mate. To be honest.
And like we say, everything can change quickly. Who'd have thought Roman Abramovich would have been sold up and gone? You know, you thought he was here for 50 years, his whole life, didn't you? So anything can happen. But yeah, look, the thing is, it hasn't affected anything to do inside the club. Hopefully, not judged by last night. Obviously, winning the game on penalties was good for the young lads. Good for the club to get through to the next round. Defending the cup that we won last year. So yeah, very much looking forward to Southampton. We've had some morale boosts, obviously, with Alisson and Fabinho included in the Brazil squad, Trent included in the England squad, Kanate included in the France squad. So yeah, things are looking good, and it's coming nice. And obviously, we've got Southampton Saturday. Have Southampton appointed a manager? Did I see Nathan
Yeah,
Jones?
Luton's manager. I think they've more or less agreed, or I'm not sure. I don't think it's done quite yet, but they've agreed. He's agreed to take over, I believe.
Great. You
Um,
know what this means, don't you? The Unai Emery new manager bounce.
incoming, mate. They're gonna be playing out of the skin for the new gaffer, fighting for the place, aren't they? Yeah, they have appointed Jones. Nathan Jones has been appointed.
And there's just something about Southampton against Liverpool. They feel like they're a bit of a bogey club to us. I hope I'm not jinxing it to
Yeah.
myself and I'm doing this to myself, but sometimes I see it's Che Adams, isn't it?
Yeah, Shea Adams. Yeah.
Ward Prowse with his free kicks. It's just like, I don't want none of that on Saturday. So, but yeah, it's going to be very much, the side is going to be pretty much unchanged. We haven't got anyone new back from injury. Jota and Diaz are still out. So's Matip. Oxlade-Chamberlain played last night, and I didn't watch it myself. I had a bit of a date night with the missus, but I read the reports, and he done himself no favours. Oxlade-Chamberlain is full blown Joe Cole, washed, finished. So he's not going to force his way into the team on Saturday. So it'll be very much the same. Kanate and Van Dijk, which fingers crossed that'll be the centre back pairing for the whole season now. Trent will be buzzing with his call up, I'm sure. Robertson at left back, and the usual Fabinho, Thiago, and Harvey Elliott. That feels a bit weird saying that now, that Harvey Elliott is the usual. Like, he's firmly ousted Henderson from the team.
It's an important game though for you, isn't it? You've got to go and back up the Spurs result.
Oh, it's
I think
huge.
every time you've won a game, I think you've dropped points in the next. Have you won two on the spin? I think you've won
Yeah.
two on the spin once. Like you beat Newcastle, and I think you might have beat West Ham.
No, it was Man City, then West Ham
That was it.
while I was on holiday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the only two we've won in a row. But we've got this, and then we've got quite an easy game when we come back. I was reading that in the article today, Boxing Day, and it's pretty much saying we win Southampton. You know what it's like, looking too far ahead. It's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
But beat Southampton, and then who have we got on Boxing Day? Away to Villa and Unai Emery. That's 5:30 on Boxing Day, so that'll be a big one. And then we're home to Leicester. So really, We've got
It's an
3
opportunity,
games
isn't it?
there. Yeah, 2 home, 1 away to Villa. It's home to Leicester. We've got an opportunity for 9 points there, and we can just hopefully get back to some sort of form that we've seen in the last 3 or 4 years. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. On the Super Six, I've done 3-0 Liverpool, and we know what that's like. I'll be turning this into a short on Saturday night.
You come out with the most bizarre scoreline for score prediction. You go with your heart and not your head. You're just like, yeah,
uh,
smashing my back now, and then it just comes back to haunt you. You need, even if you think you're gonna win 3-4-0, just keep it at 2-0.
just see 1-0, 1-0.
Just until Liverpool start getting ahead of steam. But no, 3-0, fair enough. Like I said, new manager. So if anything, it's a good time to play them because I know they'll have a new manager bounce, but the manager's not had a lot of time to work with these players. He's come through the door today, so he will have had 2 training sessions max of what he expects from them. I think you'll see that the players showing a lot of fight and stuff, but tactically they're not really going to know how they want to approach the game, or it's all new to them. So if there's a time to play Southampton at home, it's perfect. So you've got to go out there and perform like you did against Spurs and really take control of the game early and go and get those 3 points. That's what you got to do. Like you said, points on the board. I think the performance at this stage, just 1 game before the World Cup for you, is by the by, really. I think it's just about getting those important 3 points and putting yourself back in the mix for that top 4 race, because you can do it definitely if you win the next few games.
Yeah, everyone's going to want to head into this World Cup with 3 points under the belts, aren't they? What? It'll almost haunt Man United and Liverpool if we don't grab the 3 Saturday, Sunday. So I just hope we haven't jinxed it. And I felt like you were really hammering in that jinx there, like.
It'll make you feel flat, won't it? Because you
Yeah.
just think, play again for a month, and the last game we played, we got beat, and you're just thinking, you'd be so frustrated throughout the whole duration of the cup, like enjoying the games, but in the back of your mind, you'll just be thinking, I just want the games back. We've got Forest as well, Boxing Day, at Old Trafford, which is another tough game. They beat Spurs in the EFL Cup yesterday, didn't they, at home?
Yeah.
Apparently they performed really well. So
And
again,
Arsenal got dumped out as well, didn't they?
yeah.
And Arsenal went quite strong as well, didn't they? I seen Saliba play, didn't he?
Did he play?
Yeah.
I know there's quite a few kids in like Nketiah because he scored, and a few of the other fringe players played. But Brighton have got a chance in that competition if they go strong. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of the so-called top 6 teams are going to rest, and a couple of them went out. Obviously, Chelsea went out to City. You've got City who are going to be strong. Liverpool can go strong in that competition whenever they want. I know we've won the EFL Cup. The last time we won that was under Mourinho, which was a few years ago now. But we don't normally do unbelievable in that competition. Now we normally get first rounded, to be fair. So that could happen tonight. We'll see. We'll have to see. But yeah, you're looking at City, Liverpool, and then probably next Brighton with the teams left who have got a good chance in that competition.
Yeah, absolutely. I did. I was on my mate's stream the other night, and I did say this is a banana skin for Arsenal purely because Brighton are not going to get top 4 and they're not going to get relegated. So why wouldn't they go strong and go for a cup run? So I did predict they would put Arsenal out, and there you go. I'm right again. I never get tired of being right.
Yeah, I think teams who haven't necessarily got ambitions or the quality to get top 4 should be putting the strongest teams out in the club. I get they want to save fresh legs and if there's an imminent game, but why would Brighton, for example, not want to win the EFL Cup? It'd be a great competition for them to win. Do you know what I mean? Even as mad as it sounds for United, do you know what I mean? Like, we're not winning leagues and Champions Leagues. We're not even in the Champions League. That I think Ten Hag, if he can get any sort of cup under his belt in his first season, it'll go down great. I think for Arteta, it was a little bit of a catalyst, him coming in, winning the FA Cup. It sort of gives you a cushion as a manager to say, I've got the quality to go and win trophies. And then you can build on that, and it's a good stepping stone. So I think for Ten Hag, like, that's probably why he's played quite a few first team players tonight, because he probably wants to do well in the competition.
Yeah, get back a bit of momentum.
Mm.
So
When's the next round draw?
I was just
Sorry.
about to ask you that. I was going to say score prediction for Liverpool, and when is the next round draw?
The draw will probably be after
It
tonight's
must be
game.
after tonight's game.
Yeah. And score prediction for Liverpool, I think 2-0. Liverpool, to be honest, I think 2-0. Yeah, I think you'll just have too much from Southampton, new manager. They're going to be really, really under pressure to perform for the new manager. And I just think Liverpool, off the back of that Spurs win, should have a lot of confidence. Everyone rested in the week as well. I can't see anything but a Liverpool win. Said that last time when you lost to Leeds, but
I hope you're right.
Yeah, I think you'll have too much for him.
You've been guilty of over-egging us as well, but I'm pretty sure that was to jinx us, and it's worked a couple of times. So we're calling this a live watch-along. We're going to sign off soon because nothing's happening. Is there anything happening from what you've been watching?
No, mate.
It looks a pretty tepid affair.
Yeah, pretty dead.
If anyone's watching, I always forget to say at the start of the stream, give us a like, and if you're new to the channel, give us a subscribe. Trav, are we going to try and do a live match reaction 6:30 Sunday night after the Man United Fulham game?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
That's when we'll be next on. We'll talk about Liverpool, Southampton on Sunday. I'm sure OB will be joining us then.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll see you all then. Trav, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Bye.